start with the game last night. My goodness gracious. Probably the most entertaining game of the football season.
Without a doubt.
Certainly prime time. The Chiefs beat the Raiders 30-29. Raiders get the money on the spread, but the Chiefs barely get through for survivors. Raiders led this one 17-0, coughed up a second 17-point lead this year. The Raiders have lost 4 games. They're 1-4, all 4 by a combined 14 points. They have a minus 5-point differential on the year. Let's do it guessing line style for a second. Raiders, 4th and 1. Let's go to the first quarter, scoreless game. 4th and 1 at their own 42. You know you'll get single coverage on Davante Adams. He just sails by Rashad Fenton, even on an underthrow. 58-yard touchdown, 7-0 Raiders. Chiefs get downfield. Matthew Wright pushes a 41-yard field goal attempt wide. 4:07 left first quarter. Subsequent Raiders drive. Not 1, but 2 defensive PI flags on underthrown Derek Carr passes intended for Davante Adams. 1 on Fenton, 1 on Jalen Watson. Best play in the NFL, Kelley. Just throw it up there. Underthrow it. Leads to a Josh Jacobs 1-yard score, 14-0. KC, 3 and out. 4th and 1 at the KC, 34 on the Raiders' subsequent drive. 9:27 left second quarter. They're up 14-0. They opt for a Daniel Carlson 53-yard field goal. It's his 36th in a row, 8 off the record, 17-0. Were you upset with the Raiders for settling for the field goal there?
No, I was okay with that one.
I was too. Then the Chiefs finally get on the board. They have a touchdown drive of their own, culminating in a Mahomes to Kelley 1-yard touchdown pass, 17-7. Ensuing Raiders drive. We're still in the first half. And here it is, Kelley. 3rd and 8 at the Raiders 46 with 1:13 left in the second quarter. Derek Carr stripped and sacked by Chris Jones, but a roughing the passer penalty is called on Jones for having the audacity to land on Derek Carr. There's nothing else he could have done. Nothing. Referee Carl Sheffer's flagging him for playing football. And SVP said it best last night. He goes, what are you supposed to suspend the laws of physics? Good on Chris Jones. Smart.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins, you caused all of this.
They did.
By
I just want to point out real quick, Chris Jones listed at 295 pounds throughout 345 there. So I'm going to use a 50-pound weight fluctuation for myself going forward as well, Gill.
Which would bring you down to?
I'm a solid 220 there, Gill.
So instead of the Chiefs getting the ball back, Raiders keep it. Leads to another Daniel Carlson 50-yarder to put the Raiders up 20-7 with 17 seconds left in the half. But as we know from the AFC playoffs, that's plenty of times for Patrick Mahomes. Aided by a face mask call, could have been a horse collar call too, by Roderick Teamer on Jerick McKinnon. Sets up a 59-yard field goal from Matthew Wright as the clock goes to 0, and Matthew Wright sinks it. 20-10. We go to the break.
That felt huge at the time.
Monumental momentum swing.
Yep.
Felt massive. By the way, everybody was betting Chiefs minus 7.5 based on that going into the second half at halftime, and it all got home.
Well, I didn't even ask you. Did you bet them live? Because I did.
I bet the Raiders plus 3.5 live. That somehow got home too.
Oh, good for you. I was on the Chiefs. I bet Chiefs money line in the second quarter.
4-1 now on Wes and Femi show with the in game. All right,
good for you, man.
Well, try to throw in bets on their show. All right, opening drive, second half. Chiefs matriculated 75 yards. All that momentum, if you believe in such things, coming home. Short touchdown pass from Mahomes to Kelley. It's 20-17, 9:25 left of the third quarter. You could feel the whole world shifting in this game. Then a total makeup call. Here was the thing about the second half. The entire second half, not the entire, but most of the second half felt like it was an entire makeup call fest because of the roughing the passer penalty that was called on Jones. Total makeup call where Mac Hollins is called for a pick, an offensive PI on first down, kills the Raiders' drive before it even starts. Chiefs get the ball back, matriculate 57 yards. Mahomes to Kelley again for the third time from 8 out. Chiefs lead for the first time, 24-20. But the Raiders on a drive that spanned the end of the third and the beginning of the fourth, largely on Josh Jacobs' runs, then settle for a Carlson 47-yarder, his 38th straight. 24-23, KC, 14:05 left. Subsequent drive. Chiefs, Matthew Wright misses on a 37-yard field goal try, and you're like, wow, Raiders are going to get the ball back down 1. And then Kelley, instead of the Raiders ball down 1, a phantom holding call on Malcolm Kuntz. And I don't know who the referee consultant or authority is that Buck and Aikman brought in, but he's like, yeah, you could see him hold so that Matthias Farley can get to. None of that happened. That's not what happened.
You're talking on the kick?
On the field goal.
Yeah.
Where they threw the flag for holding? What was that?
So
they did not make enough of that, dude.
I can't remember ever or the last time I've seen that called. Right? They threw that flag, and I'm like, what's coming on the defense here? Right? Like, unless it's roughing or something.
We are betting on this stuff. We are mashugana for betting on this stuff. Yiddish. Like, I can't. Like, what are we?
No.
They can do anything they want.
I'm trying to think. Like, we've seen multiple times the jump over the long snapper thing called. Right? I was like, when they called that last, I'm like, defensive holding. I'm like, what? But I don't like. I did see the replay later on. I guess I get it.
I don't. I saw the replay. I didn't know 10
that was.
times.
I don't know if I knew that was a rule.
I don't get it at all. I have no idea where they saw that. 4 plays later, Mahomes to Kelley for a 4th time, 30-23, up 7. The Chiefs go for 2. They fail. Did you like them going for 2 up 7?
Call.
I do too. And again, for those who are like, want to know the analytics about it, if you assume, just take a general thing. If you assume the expected points on an extra point is 1, because you make most of those, not so much anymore, but let's assume that for the purpose of this conversation, 50% on 2-point conversions, the expected value also 1 point. And if you take in the fact that these are the Kansas City Chiefs, they're probably higher on the 2-point conversion rate, success rate than others. I think you try to make it 2 scores at that point than 1. So I get that. Next drive, Carr to Devontae for 48. It's 30-29. The Raiders decide to go for 2 with 4:27 left. Did you like that?
Love it.
I did too.
I loved both of them.
Now, this one's a little harder to sort of wrap your brain around.
Okay, you're right. I loved the Chiefs ones.
I loved the Chiefs.
I liked this one.
I would agree with that assessment.
And mainly from the side of, look, it's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. You're in a tough stadium to play on the road, Monday Night Football. Go in there and try to steal a win, right?
That's
go
exactly
for 2
right.
To steal a win in Kansas City.
You're Sugar Ray Leonard stealing the round from Marvin Hagler. That's exactly what you thought too, Kelley. That was the analogy you came up with. No, I'm kidding. No, that's what you're doing. You're just trying to steal it right there.
Yeah.
Go up, make one stop. By the way, the Raiders did make a stop after that.
Right, yeah.
People are going to disagree with that, but I think reasonable minds could disagree there. So the Raiders seemingly get that miraculous stop on D. They start with the ball at their own 6 with 2:29 left. They have the 2-minute warning and 1 timeout left to try to win this. All they need is a Daniel Carlson field goal. He never misses. Raiders smartly call 2 running plays before the 2-minute warning to get the ball out to the 23, 9 yards on first down. Then Chris Jones on a second down gets held. That's not flagged.
Oh, my, that was...
Chris Jones is getting the worst of it.
I have a bigger problem with that missed call, than I think anything else.
The makeup calls stopped, and they went against Chris Jones again.
That was the most mind-blowing, obvious holding I've ever seen in the NFL without a flag throw.
Didn't throw a flag. By the way, Patrick Mahomes got swung down on a play previous to that. That didn't get flagged either.
Okay, that one too. I had a problem. I have a problem with that and the non-holding call more than I have with the roughing the passer.
So 3rd and 1. It left to the Raiders 3rd and 1. They converted. 3 plays later, it's another 3rd and 1. 51 seconds left. Carr to Devontae ruled a 16-yard catch on the field with a toe tap. Correctly reversed, I think.
I was talking with the guys downstairs about this, too.
People are like, oh, yeah, it was definitely reversed. I don't know.
Okay.
He shifted from 2 hands to 1. Did he really lose control?
And how I saw it, Gill, is if we have all these one-handed catches in the NFL these days, right? He had one hand underneath it. That ball didn't bobble. All he did was bring it back into his chest. I don't know. I
think 4th and 1, 47 seconds left. Carr goes deep. Renfro and Adams run into each other, and the Chiefs win 30-29.
And then I also didn't see a replay ever when everybody was like, oh, it was great press coverage at the line of scrimmage on Davante Adams. I'm like, well, that would make sense. But I never saw a replay of that.
I have so much more to say about the NFL. Because the takeaway from that game is nothing. The Chiefs are who we thought they were, and the Raiders are who we thought they were. But, like...
the greatest 1-4 football team ever.
They are. Again, 4 losses by a combined 14 points. There's other things we didn't even mention on guessing lines with referees, which we'll have to get to as well.